Hello everyone, and welcome to Babylon Leather's official channel. Today, we'll be crafting a customizable panel square crossbody bag. This is the applique tutorial for the self-adhesive glue version. The adhesive side of the fabric adhesion material is covered with a protective film, and the adhesive side is the front side. This side of the material is where the flat back piece connects to the flat front piece. The other side is where the flat front piece covers the front piece. After confirming the pattern you want, flip the exterior fabric left and right. Peel off the protective film and bond it with the adhesive side facing downward. After bonding, check if the exterior fabric is flat. If there are no issues, bond the other piece of fabric adhesion material using the same method. This is the front piece, the curved side is the bottom, and the straight side is the bag mouth. After bonding, cut the exterior fabric along the edge of the fabric adhesion material, leaving an extra 1 to 2 millimeters of exterior fabric at the edge to prevent fraying. Take a look at the effect after cutting. Cut the other piece of material using the same method. Cut the other piece of material using the same method. Inventory the materials. Display the finished effect. This is the flap. This is the front piece. Get a screwdriver and poke holes at the hardware hole positions. Get the front piece hardware. The other square hardware is installed in another position. Insert the screws from the inside out. Align the hardware from the outside to the inside. After confirming the position is correct, tighten the screws. Tighten the screws alternately on both sides. After installation, get the other hardware. Loosen the screws first. If it can't be loosened, you can pry it slightly with a screwdriver first. After loosening, take the side with a rivet and place it from the outside to the inside. First, I will teach you to distinguish between the front and back sides. Distinguish by looking at the holes. The side with larger and rounded holes is the front side, and the side with smaller and SH. The other side of the hardware aligns from the inside to the outside. Put the screws in the corresponding positions and tighten them using the same method. Get needles and thread. Sew these 3 sides first. The top row of holes will be sewn later. Measure the thread to be 6 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles. You can measure an extra 5 to 10 centimeters each time. Cut the thread diagonally with scissors. Pull 10 centimeters of thread through the needle eye and tie a knot. Thread the other end of the thread through the other needle using the same method. This completes the threading of the needles. If the thread end gets shorter during sewing, you can pull it longer again. This side is the bag bottom. Start sewing. Insert the needle from the top to the bottom at the first hole. With the same needle, insert from the bottom to the top at the second hole. Pull both threads to ensure they remain the same length. Then pass the first needle through the second hole, being careful not to snag the thread. Tighten the thread. Now the starting stitch is completed. Tighten the thread. Now the starting stitch is completed. Tighten the thread. Now the starting stitch is completed. Tighten the thread after each stitch, keep the thread placement direction consistent, and be sure to pull the thread vertically, otherwise, it will damage the leather. Sew forward normally. Get finger cots. They are used to protect your fingers, so put them on the finger you use to pull the thread. Sew until the third hole from the end, then sew forward with a single needle. After sewing to the last hole, thread back to connect the stitches. After connecting, sew one stitch back to reinforce. Then thread all the threads to the inside. Leave a 3 mm thread tail, cut the thread, and burn the thread tail little by little with a lighter. Be careful not to blacken the thread tail or burn the leather. This completes the thread finishing. Finish the other thread using the same method. Get the bottom surrounding material and to shoulder strap your tabs. Get the D-ring. Fold the ear tab and D-ring like this. Sew the ear tab on the front side of the bottom surrounding. Measure the thread to be 1.5 times the length, then thread the needles normally. Align the holes of the ear tab and the bottom surrounding. Start sewing. Pass the first needle through this hole. Then sew forward normally. After sewing all the holes, start finishing the thread. First sew one stitch downward to reinforce. Then thread all the threads to the inside. Finish the thread using the same method. Sew the other shoulder strap your tab using the same method. Take a look at the effect after both sides are sewn. Get the lock base, bag lid, and piping strip pieces. The notched side of the bag lid corresponds to the position of the back piece. This is the effect of the finished sewn product. Measure the thread to be 4 times the length of the sewn part, then thread the needles normally. Place the front side of the piping strip outward and wrap the edge of the bag lid. The second hole of the piping strip corresponds to the first hole of the bag lid. Start sewing from the second hole of the piping strip and the first hole of the bag lid. For the second stitch, pass through the third hole of the piping strip and the second hole of the bag lid. Then sew forward normally. It is easier to sew if you first align the holes and fix them with clips. When sewing to the middle hole on the curved side, there are 2 central holes. They are larger than the surrounding holes. When sewing here, you need to add the lock base and sew them together. The side of the lock base with screws is on the same side as the inside of the bag lid. Stop when sewing to the hole before the central hole, then get the lock base. Sew the wider side of the lock base and attach the lock base to the inside of the bag lid. The first central hole corresponds to the first hole of the lock base. After sewing the holes of the lock base, continue sewing forward normally. When sewing the last few stitches, trim the piping strip. The piping strip has one more hole than the unsewn holes. If there are 3 holes left to sew, the piping strip will have 4 holes. So leave 4 holes here. Sew forward with a single needle for the last few stitches. Then thread back to connect the stitches. Sew 1 overlapping stitch back to reinforce. Thread all the needles to the inside. Then thread both needles through the next hole, passing through the gap between the 2 materials. Finish the thread using the same method. Take a look at the effect after sewing. Now start sewing this part. Get the bag lid, back piece, and edge strip. Measure the thread to be 8 times the length, then thread the needles normally. Cut an extra 10 centimeters or so of thread as a backup. Align the holes. Pass the first needle through this hole, sequentially passing through the edge strip and the first hole of the bag body. When sewing the second hole, you need to add the materials and sew them together. All 3 materials are facing up. The second hole of the bag body corresponds to the first hole of the bag lid. The bag lid is sandwiched between the bag body and the edge strip. Get a spare needle, cut a short section of thread, first align the holes, then fix the holes like this, it will be easier to sew. Make another section of fixing thread in the middle position. When you are about to sew to the hole of the fixing thread, cut the fixing thread. Continue sewing forward. If you can't find the hole, you can pull apart the materials to check. After sewing the fourth hole from the end, sew forward with a single needle. Then thread back to connect the stitches. After connecting, sew one stitch back to reinforce. Thread the thread to the inside. Take a look at the effect after sewing. Now start sewing the bottom surrounding front piece and back piece. Measure the thread to be 4.5 times the length, then thread the needles normally. Both materials are facing up. The side patch covers the bag body, and the first hole of the side patch aligns with the first hole of the bag body. Then sew forward normally. Sewing the holes at the corners requires sewing in an upright position. There is a central hole between the side patch and the bag body. Tie a section of fixing thread at the central hole. Then start sewing the corner holes. You can pass through the materials one by one if you can't pass through all at once. only tighten the thread when there is no gap between the two materials. Make a section of fixing thread here. Get the bag lid material and use a screwdriver or rubber mallet to flatten the wrinkles of the piping strip. You can adjust the corner position by hand. When sewing to the last few holes, finish the thread using the same method. Take a look at the effect after sewing. Get the back piece and sew it using the same method. Be careful not to prick your hand when pulling the needle from the inside. Take a look at the effect after sewing. Now start sewing the entire bag mouth. Measure the thread to be 4 times the length of the entire bag mouth, then thread the needles normally, cut an extra 20 to 30 centimeters of thread. Get the inner pocket. When placing it, note that the zipper pocket faces the back piece. First, find the corresponding holes. The fifth hole of the side surrounding material, which is also the central hole, corresponds to the hole at the gap of the inner pocket, and the first hole of the piping strip. Start sewing. Start sewing from the third hole counted from the central hole. Be careful to align the holes correctly and not sew them wrong. Then sew forward normally. It is easier to sew if you first align the holes and fix them with clips. The hole corresponding to the central hole only needs to be sewn once. After sewing the central hole, continue sewing forward normally. Fix the holes with clips. When there are a few holes left, first trim the excess holes of the piping strip. The piping strip has 2 more holes than the central hole. Continue sewing after trimming. After sewing all the holes, start finishing the thread. First, sew one stitch forward to reinforce. Then thread the thread to the inside. Take a look at the effect after sewing. Adjust the shape of the bag by hand like this. The bag is finished. Appreciate your choice of Babylon leather. Thank you for choosing us. Wishing you the acquisition of valuable skills during your time here. If you've enjoyed our video, don't forget to like, comment, and share. For more information about this DIY leather kit, check out the link in the bio. Thanks for watching.